Greetings everyone. This is our project for our object-oriented programming. We will discuss how our codes work. I'm Kit Lawrence Mabalos and I'll start our explanation. Firstly, we set up our variables. You can see here our variables: string name, condition, manufacturer, size, decision, double weight, in condition choice, ID equals 1, choice, boolean is active equals true. The variable name will store the name of the toy, and condition will store the condition of the toy, example, new or used. And on this line of code, array list toys equals new array list. This array list will store the input of the user. Second, user interaction loop. This part of the code runs in a continuous loop is active equals true, showing a menu with 6 options until the user chooses to exit. Input validation. The inner while true loop asks the user's choice from 1 to 6. If the user enters anything other than 1 to 6, it prints an error message and asks for a new input. The program will only continue once the user selects a valid option. Next is the adding a toy. This is the part where the user adds a new toy to the collection. The program will prompt the user to input details about the toy. Toy name. The program first prompts the user to enter the toy's name using scan.nextLine. This input is stored in the name variable. Then, toy condition. The user is then asked to choose the condition of the toy from 3 options: 1 for new, 2 for use, 3 for refurbish. This is done through another while true loop, ensuring that the user must choose a valid option. If the user enters an invalid choice, anything other than 1 to 3, the program will display an error message and prompts the user to try again. Once a valid option is selected, the program assigns the corresponding string value, new, use, refurbish, to the condition variable. This value will represent the toy's condition in the collection. After a valid input is given, the loop breaks using break, allowing the program to proceed with adding the toy to the collection. Here's are the important concept of my part. Input validation. In both the menu choice and the toy condition, the program ensures the input is valid before proceeding. If invalid input is entered, the user is prompted again to enter a valid value. The while true loops through ensure that invalid data does not go unnoticed and keeps asking for valid input until the user provides one. Second important concept, loop structure. This while loop for the toy condition ensures that the user can only proceed if they select a valid condition for the toy. The use of break in the condition loop ensures that the program doesn't continuously ask for input after a valid choice has been made. And lastly, modular user interaction. The program is designed so that it will repeatedly offer the user of choice of actions through the main menu, add, remove, display, etc. The code structure allows for easy expansion. For examples, once a toy's name and condition are gathered, the next steps would likely involve storing this information in the toy's array list.
Greetings, I'm Johnny Gausana. Now let's proceed to the other program line of our code. Let's go through this step by step. So first, we created a new toy object using the details provided by the user. So we can see here that this part of our program, basically this part is the toy's name is converted to uppercase. It's assigned a unique ID by incrementing the ID variable. Now we need to gather additional details about the toy, whether it has certain features or not. We'll do this by asking the user a series of yes or no questions and setting the corresponding attributes. So first one for the operation, the battery operated feature. So we can see here that we do a while. Basically, we ask the user if the toy is battery operated, The input is converted to lowercase to ensure consistency. Next, we validate the input, this part of our code. So, if the user enters anything other than y or n character, we prompt them again. If the user inputted y, we set the button operated to true, otherwise it's false. Once we get a valid response, we break out we break out of the loop and move on. So for the other three, these sound features, voice recognition, and the touch sensor, we can basically skip it since we do a exact same structure. So let's proceed now to the last this line of code. So once we gathered all the details, we basically add the toy to our list or the array list. And that's it for my part.
Hi, greetings everyone. So today I'm gonna tackle about this line of code. So the first step is removing a toy. So the program asks for a toy ID. It calls the remove toy method to check if the toy really exists and removes it. If the removal is successful, it prints toy has been successfully removed. Otherwise, it prints toy removal failed, cannot find the toy with a given ID. So the next step is if the user chooses option 3, the program simply calls display toys. This function prints out all the toy in our collection. So the step 3 is searching for a toy. So the user can search for a toy by name. If the toy is empty, it warns the user your collection is empty. Otherwise, it asks for a toy name. The program converts the name to uppercase to avoid case sensitivity issue. Then it searches the list for a match and displays the toy's detail. So after that, filtering the toys by condition. The user can filter toys by their condition. So if the toy list is empty, it means your collection is empty. Otherwise, it asks the user to choose 1, 2, or 3 for filtering. If they pick an invalid option, it prompts them to choose again. Once valid, it loops through the toy and displays only those that match the selected condition. For example, if the user picks new, it prints all toys marked as new. After that, exiting the program. So if the user chooses option 6, the program prints thank you for stopping by, terminating the program. And just like that, the program shuts down.
Good day everyone, I'm Justin Brillantes and today I'll be talking about a method here in our project in Java, object-oriented programming. So I'll be talking about the search time method. This method takes in two parameters, an array list and a string. What happens first is that we first check if the list is empty. If it is, then we just return. If not, then we iterate over the entire list. There's an if statement here, so it says that if the current toy's name is equal to the second parameter, we simply display all its details and then we break out of the loop. And if none of those toys' name is equal to the second parameter, we just print toy not found, meaning that the toy does not exist in the list. So I'll just demo it for once. So it's the option 4. As we can see, the toy was found, and if there was no toy, this would be the result. And if it's empty, this will be the result. So that's it for my part in this project. Thank you.
Down greetings, I'm Ken Justin Asilo, and today I would explain two methods in our project. So first method would be the public static void display toys, which takes into parameters an array list of toys. Then inside it we would check if the array list is empty or not. If it is an empty array list, then we would print an statement called statement that is stating that the collection is empty, please add the toy and then return. And if it is not empty, then we would proceed to display the toys that are in the collection. So we would display it in a loop style. So in the loop, we would loop until we get all the toys that are inside the collection. Then we would print its toy ID and also its toy name. Next method would be the public static boolean remove toy. So this method takes into a parameters that an array list of toys and also the ID. So first, we would need to check if the toy list is empty. If the toy list is empty, then we would throw an error message meaning that the toy list is empty, then we would not proceed to the methods. And if the toy list isn't empty, first we would declare three variables. These variables would take a generated random number from 1 to 3. Then next we would go to a for loop, which means we would iterate through all the sizes of the array list of toys. Then we would check one by one each if the index and the ID match. If the index and ID match, then we would proceed to give a parting line to that toy, which we have randomly generated from 1 to 3 earlier here. So if the random generated number is equal to 1, then we would generate this parting line. So, and if it is equal to 2, and else if it is equal to 3. Then after we generate the parting line, so we would remove that toy in the collection. So we would return true, and if we didn't find any toy that has a matching ID, then we would return false, meaning there are no toys that are on that ID. And that's it.
Good day everyone, my name is Aaron Abiblanes. Today I'm going to discuss the toy class in our project. As you can see here, we have a variable here. ID is for giving the toys unique identity. The next one is name for toys name. Condition to check if the toy is new or used. Manufacturer size. This size is for only to check if what is the size of the toy, whether it's big or small. Then weight. We also added special featured, battery operated, sound features, voice recognition, and touch sensitivity. The next one is the class constructor. These parts run when we create a new toy. It takes some details like name, condition, manufacturer, size, and also weight. And save them into the toys variable. Then we also have setters and getters. The set ID allows us to change the ID of the toy. ID, get name, get condition, get manufacturer, get size, and get weight. This method let us retrieve information about the toy. That's all, and the next one will be discussed by one of our groupmates. Thank you.
So, greetings everyone. My name is Janice de Granada, and now I will continue the line this toy class. So, this line 50 to line 100. I will discuss about what is is all about attributes of answerable by Boolean values. So first, what is this all about? So this Java class defines the setter and getter methods for four attributes: the battery operated, sounds sounds feature, then set voice recognition, and lastly the touch sensitivity, storing them as a yes or no string based on the boolean input, but contains naming inconsistencies such as is voice recognition is touch sensitive, which should be correct for proper readability and convince compilation. So let's talk about this battery operated. So in battery operated, these methods set the battery operated attribute based on the Boolean decision passed as a parameter. If decision is true, it says a battery operated to yes. If decision is false, it sets battery operated to no. So what is the purpose of this? The purpose of this is allow settings wherever the device is battery operated. So next, we'll talk about um, this public string. It's battery operated. Return to battery operated. So what it is all about. So for this method, we talk about this method returns the value. It is, oh my god. So it returns the value if it's string yes or no. What is purpose of this? Purpose of this is if whatever the device is battery operated. So um, next is sets sounds feature. Sounds feature, yeah. This sounds feature, this line is um, work the same way as a set battery operated, but for the sounds feature attribute. So purpose of this, enable or disable the sounds. Yes, we are this as a yes or no again. If the decision is true, then yes. If this decision is false, then this is no. Sounds future. So next is again the return sounds future. It returns the value of sounds future as a string. So they are the same like this one to the return battery operated. Retrieve the sounds future status or retrieve the data that they collected. So next is a set voice recognition. So set voice recognition attribute based on the boolean input. If true, yes, and then if it's false, then no. So then they have again return voice recognition. Retrieve all. This is a return value for voice recognition. Just like um, the first one, like the sounds future. The purpose is to retrieve the sounds future status. So lastly, it's sensitivity um, attribute. So set the touch sensitivity attribute based on the boolean input again. Enable or disable the touch sensitivity, and they have again return touch sensitivity to return the value of touch sensitivity. So that is all about our project, and thank you for listening.